Hi, everyone. Thanks very much for joining us. I'm joined with Baptiste Debever. Baptiste is the co-founder and head of growth of Feedier, the gamified feedback tool for your customers. He's a French entrepreneur with a background in software engineering, freshly graduated from college. He's just started his first company, and I'm really excited to be joined with him. Baptiste, welcome, and my apologies for probably butchering your name there.
No worries, Rob. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. And hey, everyone, really excited to share my experience and my story with you.
So yeah, keen to dig in and talk about Feedier itself, but also your experience in going on Appsumo as well. I think that's a really interesting
Yeah.
element. So just to start off with, can you just describe Feedier for the uninitiated? What is it?
Yeah, sure. So as you said, is we describe it as a gamified feedback tool. So why we're doing that is simply because we believe that the usual surveys are very boring when you want to do a Google Forms or SurveyMonkey.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they're fine, but we find them very boring, kind of always the same. You don't feel like it belongs to a specific brand. So what we wanted to do is build the tools that makes the overall feedback experience way more attractive, less scary, and more kind of win-win, as in you give the feedback, you spend time for the company, for whoever you're giving feedback to, and in exchange you get first a great experience, which is very important, but also you get something in return, as in we built a complete reward program, so you can give incentives, if that makes sense.
Cool.
So it can be money, but it can also be vouchers, discounts, custom kind of message, like if you want to invite your customer to specific events, give access to specific content, you can send files, you can send pretty much whatever you want. And we want to take this to like it's only the first step, and we really want to push that kind of gamification contest part.
So when you were first thinking up the idea, or you and your co-founders were thinking up the idea, how did you what was the first step that you took to validate the problem that you were seeing? Were there kind of experiments that you ran in order to see how a gamified experience would make a difference? Or was it just an idea?
Yeah, so we kind of went all into it. We're still studying at the time, and we also had another business on the side, which is actually still running. It's like we're selling WordPress templates, basically. So if you want to build a website today or whatever.
This started as like a side project.
Yeah, so we started. We're doing that, and then actually, while doing that, we're running into troubles. We couldn't really, engage with our audience or get proper feedback. So that's where the idea came from, and then we use Feedier as a way to get feedback first for our customers for the other product. So it was our way to validate the issue, I guess.
Cool. Okay. And when was this? When did you actually start it?
So we started like 1 year and a half ago, basically.
Wow.
But the product was only ready in March last year, so 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not long. So just coming up to a year, basically.
Yeah, just coming up to a year. We had the beta and all of those things. So
wow.
yeah.
Okay. And so within that year, you've grown your B2B customer base to is it over 4,000 in less than a year's time?
Yeah.
How did you accomplish that?
Yeah, so it's 4,000 users. So we got we started with a beta in March last year. We got a good bunch of customers, of users from there. It was completely free, and we just wanted to get proper feedback from people and fix bugs and stuff. And then we heard about lifetime deals and how you can basically get the word out by leveraging big communities and offering access to your product for lifetime, as it sounds, in exchange for a fee, obviously, but a way cheaper. Like it's very good bargain for people buying it, but it's also a good way for you to get feedback. So we went into Appsumo, which is one of the most famous, I guess, lifetime deal platforms, and it brought us a good chunk of customers as well. So I think we got at least 2,500 users from there, and then after that, it was all about we basically tried, and we're still trying different types of marketing. So whether it's like inbound, outbound, content, plenty of stuff. Like, I mean,
and so you still kind of operate a freemium model, like there is a free option.
Yeah, we still have the free option.
Leaving aside Appsumo, because I think that's a different kettle of fish that we should talk about. But how have you found a freemium model versus, like, why did you choose to stick with like a freemium model versus like a forced pay, a 2-week trial and then a convert to pay, and how have you found it?
Yeah, well, we've actually also tried the tool for a few months, but we think it won't work. It won't work out in our niche, because in our field, because when people sign up for a feedback tool, they either need something done right now, but they can also just be looking around for a good product, and meaning that in 2 weeks time they won't be necessarily ready to pay and to start using the product. So that's the first thing. Then second thing, we also believe that people should be able to just small companies, or even just students or whatever, should be able to use the product without paying for it. And then once they see the value, they can start paying. So yeah, I think freemium is fine, but I guess yes, we'll need to doubling down on how to make people upgrade and find other levels to.
And what percentage of your users are actually paid, not including the Appsumos, I guess?
I guess it's less than 5%. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's kind of the amount that you're starting with, and then you're running a bunch of experiments to see how you can like upsell based on that. That's cool. Okay. So in terms of thinking about that, like, are there certain things that you do to try and educate your users in order to get the upsell, or are you really just at the beginning, the starting processes of that? Why do people start paying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so we're still at the beginning of the process, obviously, but we try to educate people on how to use the product first, which is one thing. So with the drip campaign, and then we also have. I also try to do a lot of video education. So like whenever people sign up, if it's not a random Gmail address, if I'm able to find the company and if I'm able to figure out what the guys are doing, then I usually do a personal video and explain them how they could benefit from the product. I log into their accounts and I do stuff for them, and really pushing them to use. Yeah, helps them basically.
Cool. Okay. And so thinking now about Appsumo, so you went on Appsumo. What went into the decision to go into Appsumo? Like, why did you choose to go on like a lifetime site, and why specifically Appsumo?
We decided to go there mainly because of the easy word of mouth we could get, and also the quick feedback, like a large number of feedback, but also in a short window, because it's running like for 2 weeks, I think, and we got so many feedback. So I think that was the most interesting part for us, and that's why we get there. We also got a few friends that told us, it's a good thing if you want to launch a product, and but there are also downsides you need to be aware of, and I guess you will figure out as you go as well. So we decided to get there. Appsumo was kind of the only one we knew about, to be honest. So we just went for that one. But now I know that there are other ones, smaller, might be better if you just want to get started. Also, Appsumo take a big cut on the final check you will be getting, so something to consider as well. yeah, at the time we're just starting. So
and how did it go? So on balance, were you pleased that you kind of went through that?
Yeah, and we got opportunities we wouldn't have had otherwise. We also got obviously a check at the end that always helpful when you only bootstrapping the company. And we got so many IDs and stuff, so very happy on that side. But also on the other hand, you get so many different people, because it's not like a community with only I don't know, freelancers, for instance. It's like a community with software companies, marketing, consultants, freelancers, whatever, mainly digital stuff. But it's plenty of different things. So you get plenty of different requests, and when you need to focus, it's like, okay, how do I filter out the good, the bad? So I think that's one of the downsides as well. And then people are they're like paying. So some of the people are like, how to put that properly? I would say, like they basically expect everything from you when they buy the product, and you need to explain them that they are top priority, basically. So
exactly.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
expectation setting.
Yeah, expectation settings. But anyway, good experience.
That's cool. Okay, so overall, have you, maybe in terms of thinking about your experience on Appsumo and watching other companies go on there, what types of products, like if people out there are either running their own SaaS businesses or thinking about running a SaaS business, and they're looking to something like Appsumo as a potential route to market, what kinds of products do well on Appsumo or are the right kind of fit? Is it ones that are targeted at like the kind of freelancer marketer community, like what you're talking about, or are there any trends that you see there?
I've seen a lot of marketing, sales, growth related products, but I haven't seen many like developers product, basically.
Sure.
That's where I want to go. But then I think whether you're like selling like I've seen plenty of stuff like SEO. I bought recently an SEO product. I've also seen like a lot of project management softwares. I've seen emails, retargeting stuff. I've seen a lot of marketing tools, basically. And then I've also seen some WordPress related plugins and things. And that's mainly the product I've seen on that got some success. But I mean, if you feel like your product is could get there, why not?
Yeah, why not? Right, I guess
you don't have anything to lose, basically.
So
point as well.
One of the things that you often hear, though, in terms of a potential drawback, in terms of a why not, is that you have an influx of cash, but you only get whatever it is, 30%, 20%, whatever it is, of that cash, but it's also a one-time amount, and so you're suddenly having to support all these users, and they're not paying monthly. And so was that a concern? I mean, I know that you're also getting a heck of a lot of actionable feedback, but do you feel like those customers are provide enough value to justify still supporting them, even though they're not like monthly payers? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, at least what happened for us is first, the cost is not very concerned, because our product is not like we spending tons of money on hosting or whatever, on resources management, on infrastructure. So it's fine on the cost. And then when it comes to support, on spending time with them, what happened is that the users from Appsumo who use the most the product, I've actually built some kind of relation with them, because I'm always in touch. So some of them I managed to upsell them. Some of them I did not, but I know they constantly helping me, and they give me whatever marketing or whatever they can. So it's fine. And then the other ones, we still get like tickets on a daily basis, but I mean it's like it's either helpful for us because like they spot a bug or something, or otherwise, if it's a very dummy question, then it can wait. I mean, but usually, yeah, I find usually it's either like a bug or someone asking questions about where to find something, and you're like, okay, we might need to improve the UI because if 5 guys are unable to find this, we need to make it more obvious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So aside from Appsumo, which sounds like it was a success for you, what other kinds of tactics are you going to try out, or are you trying out in order to get Feedier in front of more people? Are there little experiments that you're running that you think are particularly interesting?
Well, we're doing I guess a lot of content, and it's I've heard people saying SEO content takes times, and it's like it's good for startup for long terms, but it takes a lot of times. And for us, it's working great so far. Like, I mean, people are able to find us on Google, find like for customer feedback tool and all those things. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm happy to share the process if anyone is interested. And then any experiment we're doing, well, I guess it's like usual things. We trying to do some content on LinkedIn as well. We try to be more involved in communities, helping people, and then few landing pages and stuff. But yeah, nothing. Yeah, I'm not sure. We have something very specific to share at this point.
Cool, awesome. No. It sounds like you're just trying everything, right?
Yeah.
So and kind of finally, before you go, are there any other businesses or resources that you see that are either doing some really innovative things to get in front of customers, or have really kind of affected the way that you're seeing growth, that you want to kind of talk about?
Yeah, sure. Well, I like the approach of like, well, you have obviously in the marketing world and in the like SEO content and stuff, you have different opinions. You have the likes of Neil Patel, who are like, you need to be everywhere all the time, pushy, blah blah blah. I kind of like his approach on the like omni-channel, as in he basically duplicates out the content online, offline, and he makes sure people find him and see his content, which I think is good and is really advocating that. So I like his example, and definitely recommend looking into his. I think he has a daily podcast about marketing, and I think it's called Marketing School. Definitely recommend that one. Then recently I stumbled upon a native product, which is it's called reachpush.co, and I still need to try, but good things about it. It's basically a way to do push notification inside a browsers, for instance.
Right. Neil Patel.
But it's like advertising.
Right.
So you pay on I'm not sure exactly how that works, but you pay to basically push notifications, which I guess is fine, because we've added push notifications onto a blog, and we're still getting clicks from there. So
interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting to try.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good resources to have a look at, and not sure. What do you want me to give for the blogs or?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I guess just as a parting message, do you have any kind of advice for people who might be considering, or might be thinking about how to grow their SaaS business if they've just gotten started? Like what would you say to those people who are kind of thinking about where should I begin? Where do I start?
Yeah, I would say like trying out different things is good, because you should be able to identify what's working, what's not working. But then at some point you need to focus on and identify some kind of niche or some kind of persona, or like very specific people to talk to, basically, and then just double down on that and keep doing it until you reach a point where you can scale up and automate or
Cool.
whatever. Yeah, don't try at the beginning. I was like trying to automate everything, but I think it's better to do it just yourself. Figure out the process and then write down for VA or automate the process, whether it's about like a script, scrapping, whatever. Just do it first, because you can spend tons of time on the automation if it's working.
Yeah, and it doesn't work. Yeah,
it doesn't work.
Cool.
So yeah, focus on testing.
Great. All right. Well, thanks so much, Baptiste.
Thank you very much for the interview. And if there is anything I can do, or if anyone has any question, do let me know, and I'm happy to answer.
Great. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Take care.